It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hardworking entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Terri Alford, who's in the building. And she'll be talking about, I'm not just in the building shit, I'm talking about how to build a multi-million-dollar legacy. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that feels like, but we're going to find out. What's going on, Terri? How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Sometimes I don't get a chance to meet folks, and I had a chance to meet you back in January. I know you don't remember me. I'm just the non-descriptive guy that was hanging out there at an event that Derek Butts had, but you were doing what you do best, which is helping people really create a legacy. And you said a multi-million-dollar legacy. So before we get going, take a moment and just kind of share some of the challenges that you've seen. Why are people today struggling or unable to or unwilling to? I know it's a loaded question, to build and leave a multi-million-dollar legacy. What's some of the challenges?
Well, I thank you very much for asking me that question. The first thing I will say is most people are looking at the effects and feeling the effects of inflation. And even though inflation is a real thing, it is something that we want to continue to work against and not just be afraid of. Inflation is not going anywhere. So when we speak about building wealth and building our legacies, we have to understand inflation is something that should be factored into the planning process. And so when you are building wealth as a businesswoman or businessman or whoever you may be, you must take certain things into consideration. You must plan for the unexpected as you are planning to have the life of luxury and financial freedom that you really desire as an entrepreneur.
Now, for those folks that went to DC public schools like myself, by the way, I know you're a school teacher, and they hear the word inflation. It's kind of one of those words that's overinflated. So, can you break it down? For the Shea Browns of the world that are listening, saying everybody keeps talking about worry about inflation. Is that just prices going up? Can she give us a? I know you may not be prepared to do this, but can you give us like a little backstory on, first of all, what is inflation and how it's kind of impacted folks? And if you're out there and you're watching right now, and you're listening, and it's something you've been hearing about, you have an intellectual knowledge of it. We've got an expert here, and she can at least break it down so you understand it. So later I can talk about some things, or she can talk about some things you can do, so you're not just keeping up with it, but you're ahead of the curve. In so many words, that's the Shea Brown version. But here's the question: inflation. What is it? Why is it important, and how does it impact our lives? Is that okay? Is that? I know it's a loaded question, but I think you can handle it.
There's another loaded question, but I will share a few stories because I believe that understanding what how inflation impacts us is a really big part of it. So it's one thing to have the definition, but I want you to really picture how inflation is affecting people on different trajectories of their life. So let's start off with, let's say we have someone who is a pre-retiree and they have worked their entire life and they're excited because they're getting ready to retire. But let's say they have, I'm just going to give a number, an easy number to do math with. So let's say that they have $1 million in their retirement and they're living off of $100,000 every year to maintain the lifestyle that they have right now. So the question is, how long, if they have $1 million total and they need $100,000 to live off on, how long will they be able to survive without having to go back to work? And will that $100,000 feel like $100,000 10 years from now? Let's think about what $100,000 or six figures was like 20 years from now. If someone said that they made $100,000 on their job or they had $100,000 in their business that they were earning every year, we would say, oh my gosh, they're doing well. Let's think about 1990. I love 1990. I was born in 1990. That's my year. So I want you to think about all the things that you could buy, the type of impact that you could have with $100,000 in 1990, and compare that to now. I'm going to give you an even more elementary example. My very first real job was at Chick-fil-A. Back in the day when I was 15 years old at Chick-fil-A, I was able to get paid $5 an hour. I was able to do so much with the $5 an hour. I also, if I did not have my discount, I was also able to buy a number one at Chick-fil-A with a large fry and large drink for $5. You go to Chick-fil-A now, you cannot get that for $5. I can tell you this, last year this time, just to give you an elementary version, I bought a large pack of chicken. I'm a cooker. I'm from Mississippi. I'm from Memphis. I love cooking, right? I love telling stories. I bought a large pack of chicken for $12. Chicken breast, $12. That same pack of chicken last year, that same pack of chicken that I will need to buy when I host my friends and family for the holidays is about $18 to $20. And that's within 1 year. So why do we want to pay attention to inflation? It's because our dollar is not giving us the same buying power that it gave us before. And as we continue to get older, our $1 bills are going to be worth less. Our $20 bills are worth less. Our $100 bills are worth less. And the reason that this is important in terms of building wealth is for some people they are afraid of the effects of inflation, and so instead of saving or planning for their future, they just focus on the day to day. Or sometimes I'll have people come to me and say, well, Terry, should I spend more time eliminating my debt or saving, or how do I do all of this at one time when I'm looking at the fact that the price of everything is increasing, the price of everything is going up, and I'm supposed to be building wealth at the same time? How do I do that? So that's what I will say is one of the biggest hindrances of entrepreneurs and just people in general who are learning how to build wealth and what does it mean to build wealth. They must understand inflation is not something that we go around. It's something that we address head on. It's something that we calculate when we're looking at our numbers, when we're looking at where we want to be financially and where we are financially.
I mean, it's probably one of the best breakdowns that examples I've heard of explaining inflation. Very well done, by the way. And there's two folks that are listening right now, and we're going to get to who she is. I know some of you are already Googling her. I get it. Some of you are already looking right below and you're reading her bio. I get it. But there's others of you that might be two type of folks I want you to talk to quickly, and then we'll get into building a multi-million-dollar legacy. But I want you to understand where her heart is, where she's coming from. Two type of folks I like for you to talk to. There's one type of individuals, I'll say myself, they're in the, I'm over the 50 plus crew. Okay. I'm proudly have my AARP card. I'm part of the Puff Daddy generation. Okay. We got remixed versions on everything. So let's talk to the 50 plus folks. For some folks, you just scared the LL Cool J out of them, right? And for other folks, like, is it too late? Inflation's moving, it's moving fast. So I want you to take a moment and just kind of talk to them as they're listening to it and inflation. And let's just assume that they've got something going, but they need to do a little bit more. And you know, what are one or two things that you maybe suggest they do? And this is just a broad sweep, ladies and gentlemen, but you get a chance, but you lean in, okay? You lean in. And then there's another group, you don't go anywhere. You're like, Shay, I'm good. I mean, I'm 30 years old. Shay, I'm rocking and rolling. Life is kind of good. What's one or two things she suggests to me before she gets to building legacy, right? Because she may have one or two ideas that can help you now. We're gonna get more, but can help you now. So here's the question for the person out there is like, okay, I need to. What's one or two things that I can do to start the foundation or to build the foundation moving forward? Again, a loaded question, but at least you got two groups you can talk to.
Right, absolutely. So let's start off with your crew, your people.
Oh, not you. Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not. I thought you was in this. Oh, you're not in this group. I can't be in your group. I can't be in your group. 1990 group.
I see. 1990 is my favorite year because that's the year I was born. So I'll just leave it there.
Oh, I thought it was you. Did you finish college? Ah, that's with you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love your energy. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whether you are over 50 or under 50, you need to know exactly where you are financially and where you want to be. That is the first step. Get a really good picture of what your financial situation looks like. When I meet with my clients, we go through a quick analysis, and I use a calculator to show them where they are and where they say they want to be, especially if they say they are curious to know if they have enough money to retire, either retire from their job or to retire and not work anymore at all. Okay, so what we need to do is see how much do you need in order to retire comfortably. Let's say if you are looking to retire at the age of 55 and you are granted 75 years on this earth, you need 20 years worth of income. How much is that? What is that number? And then we do the math to discover what that number is. And then we do the math to see how much do you need to save per month in addition to what you're doing now in order to make that number a reality. And if that number is without of your reach, it's not something that you can obtain, then we have to be creative and say, are you a business owner? Well, it's time to level up in your business. It's time for you to make more money in your business. But now, instead of you having a pie in the sky goal, you know exactly what you're working towards. And once you get that number, you need to put that number everywhere. You need to make that number visible. You need to put it in your journal, in your prayer closet, in your car. You need to make that number very clear. And when you make that number very visible and very clear to you, it's going to change how you see money, how you utilize money. You may have an opportunity to get a nice bag or some nice shoes for extra, for I'll say for $500 less than what it costs. But you're also thinking like, okay, well, instead of me getting those other things that help and build other brands when I do my photo shooting, when I do my branding for my business, how about I just think about what is going to be the greatest return on my investments? You start thinking about money differently. I'm going to be very, very direct with this. I love fashion. I like nice things, right? But instead of us spending an additional $2,000 to $3,000 on shoes or on bags, so we can look a certain way when we're posting on social media and when we're making a presence, why not put that extra $2,000 to $3,000 towards making sure that you can reach your retirement goal? Because you need to be aggressive if you want to reach your retirement goal in 10 years. We're not just going to look at it though based on what the numbers look like outside of taxes. We're going to look at taxable retirement vehicles and non-taxable retirement vehicles, because just because you make the money does not mean that you're able to keep the money. So we have to look at that as well. In addition to looking at retirement, at taxes, inflation, we also want to plan for the unexpected. In 2020, both of my parents became ill. I am so happy to say thank you, God, that both of my parents are healed. However, during that time, I had to make some decisions as a young woman as to what needed to be done with my finances to make sure that I was okay during the pandemic, as well as my parents. Now, my dad, he was pretty much independent, but my mother, a single mother who was told that she ran out of FMLA on her job, she had some decisions to make, and I had some decisions to make. So even though she is in a good place now I'm speaking to more the millennials, the Generation Xers, those who have those parents who are aging, who may not have planned for retirement, who may not have planned for the effects of inflation. You may have to have your parents, your grandparents, who are going to need your support. Either they may have to come and live with you, or you may have to help them financially. So you want to factor all of those things in when you are planning for your exit strategy, whether you're retiring or exiting from your job or exiting from your business or to go full time in your business. These are all the things that you want to consider. And if you just continue to work and look good and pretend like these things don't matter, when time creeps up on you, you're going to realize that because you waited, it weighs more on you that you did not start planning earlier for your financial freedom and how you want to truly build wealth for real.
Well said. They want to know now, who is this person talking, Shay? What's her backstory? She's breaking things down in such a teachable manner. She's breaking things down in a way that even a third grader could understand. I feel it. I hear her passion. I get the picture. She didn't just tell me, Shay. She showed me. But who is this person? Someone else said, I didn't get a chance to read the bio. I ain't get a chance to do all that, Shay. I'm cooking right now, or I'm in the gym right now. Shay, I got a lot going on, but I'm listening to you right now. So can you slow down, let her know, who is she? What is Terri's backstory that led her to that moment where she decided, you know what? This thing over here, building wealth and helping people leave a legacy, this is my jam. This is what I'm born to do. I don't know. Let's find out. Terri, what's your backstory? Who are you? And what was your defining moment in life that led you to doing what you're doing now?
How much time do we have? I'm just kidding. so, so I am Terri Alford. I am known as a women's wealth strategist, and I specialize in helping business women build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million dollar legacies. Before I became a full-time entrepreneur, towards the end of 2019, I was a principal. Yes, I was a principal. I was an instructional coach. I've been a science teacher. I have a master's degree in STEM education. I love teaching. I am still a teacher. I am still a coach, and I am a consultant, and I am passionate about economic empowerment. I'm passionate about women's empowerment, and I'm really passionate about making sure that we understand how to make sure that things are good all around. We want to make sure that your blind spots are visible to you. You have to know where your blind spots are. The reason I say that is because I had blind spots, and I also, when I was a teacher and when I was a principal, I really looked up to the people who made six figures. I thought six figures was the goal. I thought having a six-figure business was it. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Let me go ahead and do that, right? So when I left my job as principal and my business first started receiving six figures worth of income, I was able to build my house. I'm a single woman, by the way, right? Build my house on my self-employed income. And people were like, Terri, how did you do that? How were you able to do that? And even though I was able to build my house, I was able to have a six-figure business, I was working diligently, and I realized like this is not financial freedom. I'm not free. I'm still having to work. And I'm still realizing that there are so many things that I did not account for as I decided to become a full time business owner. So, even as I continue to grow my business and scale my business, I am learning more and more that having a six-figure business is really just the foundation. Because in order for me to make the impact that I need to make, I need to be able to hire a team, right? I led a team when I talked about Chick-fil-A. I have a background in retail as well. I was an assistant manager of a men's warehouse in college. And so that's where I first started learning sales and started getting really, really good with sales. But even when I was a manager at men's warehouse, I understood that I wanted to do more and I wanted to impact more people. So I left my job as an assistant manager at Men's Warehouse. I became an employee for a bank. I'll just say that. And at that bank, I was really good at what I did. So I got pulled to the classroom to start teaching the people who were new, the new hires. And I became an on the job training coach. But even as I was on the phones and connecting with the people who would contact the bank and need support, I realized when I looked at the accounts, there were people who made so much money, or what I considered to be so much money at the time. But when there were people who made so much money, but literally by the end of the month, they were calling the bank to get a loan or to get their version of a payday loan because they were spending way more than what they were bringing in. And again, I thought it was so much money because these people were making over $10,000 a month, and I'm like, how is it that all of their money is being spent? And so in my business, I start realizing in order for me to reach the masses and the number of people that God have called me to, I need to make more money in my business. So I start being intentional about how I use my money, how I spend my money, how I invest in me, and how I invest for my future. I don't have any children, but I'm still planting seed. I'm still planting seeds, and I'm still making sure that I'm in position to make sure my children are $1 million babies when they become when they are born, right? They're going to be $1 million babies as infants. I'm going to make sure they're trust fund babies. Even if I leave after my children are born in a short amount of time, which I hope doesn't happen. But if I have to leave this earth, what I do know is my children are going to be set for life. My parents, my sisters, I have 3 younger sisters, they're going to get a good bit too. I have one sister who is a medical student. She's a med school student. She's going to be the first doctor in our family. So when my sister says, Terry, I need X, Y, and Z, I'm like, great, because guess what? I'm able to help my sister become the first doctor in my family. I was on a call and a woman said, it's good for you to have the heart of a servant, but you want to have the pockets of a servant. You want to have the pockets of a giver and not just the heart of a giver. So right now, I have started to make sure that more women who want to have a bigger impact, they want to have more influence, they're able to have more income and be more intentional about their money so that we can indeed build wealth. When we build wealth, it's not just for ourselves. It's about building wealth for all the people that we are to impact. Everyone on this earth was called to impact somebody somewhere. And so I am the owner of TNA Financial Group. It is my financial services business and company. I am an independent broker with many carriers. I do help people plan for the unexpected, plan for college, plan for retirement. But just know, if you do decide to reach out to me and to connect with me, you are going to get a lesson. Because, like the old people say, what's in you is going to come out of you. And what is in me is a teacher. I was called to be a teacher. I was born to be a teacher. I have accepted that calling, and I want to make sure that the people that I am called to serve, I am able to serve them without worrying about money. So that's why I'm building wealth, and I'm helping other business women who are passionate about impacting the world build wealth as well.
Well, I'm super excited. You said it so well. Thanks for sharing all the details. Now, folks that are listening, they have 2 questions. First question I have, which is my favorite question to ask, by the way, in the time we have, but it's my favorite segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that are tuning in, for those folks that are listening, you're here every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what we're about to do. You're about to say those magic words. Today is my January 1st. How releasing is that? To know that this is a new start for you. For those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, we want to welcome you to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thanks for showing up. Please share. Please connect with us. Please subscribe. Stay in the conversation. But today is my January 1st. It represents our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do over. It means our past, no matter what that past is back there, it no longer equals our future. So, my question to Terri is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And there was a January 1st moment for you where things didn't go the way you want. Maybe everything's been perfect for her, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know yet, but there was a setback, there was a challenge. And how were you able to bounce back from that?
Oh, yes. Yes, today is my January 1st. And what many people know about me is that I have a financial services business. Many people know that I love to educate, equip, and empower people. What many people do not know is that although in March of 2020, I made the most money, not March, I'm sorry, in June of 2020, I made the most money I had ever made in a 30-day time frame. I was going through a depression. I was going through a depression because I was just trying to figure everything out on my own. The pandemic was happening, of course. My parents were ill. This was my first time being full time in my business, and I was trying to help so many people, but I went through a depression. I went through a depression because I didn't feel like I had used my time as wisely. I thought about, what if this is the end? What if the world will be no more? And I thought about the things that I had accomplished, and I thought about the times in which I was disobedient to God, and I was feeling the effects of that in 2020. Fast forward to 2021. Even though again I was making money, my business was doing well. I mean, just to give you some context, in June of 2020, I made $19,000 in commissions alone. So that for me, that was amazing. That I had made it. Little girl born in West Point, Mississippi, from Memphis, Tennessee. I had made it. But when 2021 rolled around, yes, I was able to close on my home. Everything seemed great. But what I didn't understand is how to really run my business like a true business. I was just making money. I wasn't thinking about my finances and my financial situation like from that of a true business owner. So I got hit with something called taxes, right? I got hit with taxes because I didn't plan for it correctly. So then I'm looking like, oh my goodness, I have made all of this money. I've done these things. I bought my home. And if you don't know this, when you're getting ready to buy a home, you need to have your income at a certain level. And so there are certain things you can't write off. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel like I feel like I failed. I felt like I was an imposter because I'm teaching people about their finances, and I felt like there were so many things I still had to learn. So if today is the day in which it is your January 1, I want you to understand it is okay for you to have a new start. It is okay for you to start anew. I did get therapy because it wasn't just from 2020. There's some other things in my life that I needed therapy for. And as a business owner, it is important for us to be able to find safe spaces and safe places for us to be in. As a principal, I didn't have a lot of safe spaces or places that I felt safe because I was a 27-year-old principal, and I didn't know many others that could relate to the things that I was going through. So this is my January 1 because I have more clarity on what I am called to do and how I'm going to be able to help my most ideal client in the midst of me feeling many times as if I've been an imposter because there were things that I just did not know. I've learned there is no one person who's the source of all knowledge. So I just didn't know at the time what I didn't know. But that does not mean that I did not impact hundreds of people. That does not mean that I have not influenced hundreds of people. That does not mean that I didn't help many people make money. When I was coaching this woman who was an insurance agent. I helped her make $11,000 in a week. I didn't even realize how amazing I was because I was too concerned thinking about what I wasn't and what I didn't do right because of the pressure to be perfect. So this
Mhm.
is my January 1 because I know I am not perfect, but I am terrific.
Well, I wish we had more time as we come down the home stretch. Two-part question that was said so well. Congratulations on your accomplishments, having your own home, bouncing back, and all the wonderful things you're doing. But most importantly, how you helping other folks leave a legacy, be able to retire, be able to take care of family, and be able to do the things they deserve to do because the money gives them the freedom and the choices to make it happen. So thanks for all that you do. Two-part question as we close out. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days? That's very important if you're working with any, I don't know if your firm is or not. And number two, how can folks connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation with you over and beyond today? Where should they go?
Great. So, first and foremost, if you are a businesswoman listening to this presentation, this live, this replay, I want you to go to jointerri.com. Terri is spelled with an I, like terrific. Terrific Terri. Okay. So jointerri.com because I have a group in which I'm going live every week, giving free training, free tips, free tools for women who want to learn how to build wealth. And if you are a woman who have been able to reach 6, 7, you may even have reached 8 figures in your business, but you have not found a safe place to be able to come to and talk about your finances or have someone look at your financial situation, feel free to reach out to me. If you go to jointerri.com, you will be able to join Business Women Building Wealth, which is my private community. But if you want to reach out to me to work with me directly, my phone number is 682 305 1593. Also, I want you to remember I was a principal, so I do have a easy link where you can find other ways to book a call with me, see different events that I have coming up. You can go to solo.to/Principal Alford. Alford is ALFORD. Go to solo.to/Principal Alford, and you'll be able to see all the links from my social media. And if nothing else, if you just want to check out my website, you can go to www.tnafinancialgroup.com.
Let me first say thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thanks for the difference you're making. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you again face to face, I think coming up shortly. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I can't wait. Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you to viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you haven't, please hit the share button. Please play this message forward to someone else. We appreciate it. You showed up, and part of life is just showing up, and you're taking that first step. So I just want you to acknowledge yourself for that. And I never get tired of sharing these words at the end of every episode, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that you are super incredible, that you are so amazing, that you're so, I'll use the word awesome, but more importantly, you are a special human being here doing some amazing things and wonderful things in the world. And so for that one reason, no matter what's going on in your life, today is your January 1st. And because today is your January 1st, you only need one reason why, by the way. You only need one idea. I mean, how many ideas do you need to change your life anyway? One. I believe for you, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, well, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and we wish you success. Bye-bye, Terri. See you later. Peace.
See you later.